Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian, know nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is the vault, episode 549. You are not the SSN. And so we thank everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. This is one of those episodes where just always backed by popular demand, or this is one of those episodes where we've gotten asked these questions for years and it is what it is. It's a very simple, easy, clear subject matter to talk about, which is that yes, you are not the social security number. And so we get so many people that have had this conversation with the vault. They're more confused than they know because they really are focused on the social. And in all actuality, what you recognize, you energize. So if you're focused on the social and it being you or it not being you, then this episode's for you. So appreciate everybody for tuning in live. Listen to the replay. This is the Vault episode 549. This is one of those episodes where we're going to be going over some information about you are not the SSN. And then as well, we have we have a workshop actually coming up. We have an event coming up as a webinar. So we definitely are excited about the webinar that we have coming up. It's a refresher class for trustees. We actually are bringing one of the mentors, Dr. Bay, and then as well one of the individuals that we work with. She's has her own accounting company firm, and as well is an enrolled agent, IRS enrolled agent. So she's someone that can defend you in court if anything happens. So it's always good to have people around you that fit that bill, fit that mold. Both of these individuals are very, very experienced, seasoned in the business, and have a ton of experience. So when people talk about trusteeship, these are individuals that are very aware of what we're talking about when it comes to trusteeship. And so we just are excited and appreciative. The class is at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 7 p.m. It's going to be 2 hours. First half, for the most part, is going to be heavy presentation. Second half is going to be heavy Q&A. We know that Q&A may run over, quote unquote. The session may be recorded, but Q&A may run over. So we're very prepared for that, willing to serve and move forward from there. So definitely excited and thankful about this episode, particularly when it comes to you are not the SSN, because this comes up all the time in consultations. Unfortunately, somebody saying, "Hey, you know, when I sign, first of all, is the SSN an entity? Yes. Is the SSN? Can the SSN do anything without your signature? No. Then it's not you. It's an entity. So where's the confusion? If the social is an entity, you are not the entity. But here's what it is. What we've come to find, people actually want to be the entity. They're trying to figure out how to get money from the entity because they see that this entity can move around in commerce, has moved around in commerce, and they're actually trying to recapture the entity as if they made it. Here we go. Did you create the social? No. You're borrowing it. You could let it go and then use EINs. You could let it go. But do people let it go? No, they don't want to let it go. They want to get this compensation from the old from they want to benefit from this number. And when you understand the system, if you benefit, you're liable. That's what we're talking about here. If you benefit, you're liable. So this is one of those situations where SSN status, SSN is an entity. It's a person. People even come on the line and they'll say, oh, X, Y, Z, and this person and that person. But okay, a person is an entity. Is it your person? This is what the class is all about. This is what the private trustee training class. Feel free to reach out, Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com. Definitely appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listen to replay. Look forward to the webinar tomorrow. Actually, have quite a few people that have reached out for us. So outside of just trustees that have been alumni, so will be recorded. Will be something that you'll be able to go back and listen to. It is email specific. Will be copyright protected. So that's kind of how it is. If you're gonna go private, you might as well stay private, or at least make sure that you're in the private. So definitely looking forward to that workshop, that webinar online, and bringing tremendous value to the trustees. Trustees run into that wall all the run into the wall sometimes and say they'll ask, who do you have for this? Who do you have for that? We have we have accountant Larissa Humphrey, IRS enrolled agent, and Dr. Bay, who is senior trustee, former insurance company owner, very successful in multiple states, estate planning expert essentially, and we can always ask those questions. So definitely looking forward to getting things done. Uh, Appreciate St. Paul, Minnesota for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate St. Paul, Minnesota for tuning in live, listening to replay. Once again, the webinar is definitely for new trustees as well as old trustees. We will be mixing quite a bit of information in, but the refresher is for you as a trustee, whether you're a senior or new. So definitely look forward to connecting with people from that perspective. It's not going to be a long webinar, something for you all to grasp and keep it moving. But this is definitely going to be no filler, no trust Christian telling stories. It's going to be very much so laws, case laws, uh, structure, a lot of organization. With Larissa, we're really going to focus on, ladies and gentlemen, this lady is an IRS enrolled agent. If she can defend you in court, who else can you trust, yourself, or are you going to trust people like that? So we're really thankful for that. Somebody that has the confidence, someone that has the skill set, someone that has the passion. That's their profession. That's their passion. So we're definitely excited about that and thankful for that. So get back to Sunday Trustee Training, 5 p.m. We will run over most likely, but it will be recorded. So this is just one of those episodes to mix in some of the content when it comes to people going over about SSNs and things of that nature. First of all, the SSN is an entity, it's a number, it deals with liability. It's up to you, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're going to keep dealing with the SSN your entire life, or you're going make it a point to evolve. You make so much money, and if you make more than a little bit of money in Social Security as you get older, they tax you on it, and if you make a certain amount, you can't collect it. This is definitely a poverty-based mentality. Uh, Definitely doesn't have a lot of value when you talk about generational wealth trustee building. We had a trustee the other day. Well, how do I move around if I still if I'm using the SSN? It's called create, because you're a creator, and we can say that to our audience because the people that listen to this podcast, they'll most likely be creating something, and trusteeship is about creating something. So we're definitely excited about and thankful to create the value that families need, the environment that families need, and the resources with the information that families need. So you're not the social security number. That's been from day one. And we got to make it a point to continuously share with people that how could you be a number? And then why are people trying to reclaim it? This is the question that we have to ask people. Why are you trying to reclaim the social security number? If the contract that most people are utilizing, which social security, if they're utilizing that out of ignorance from not knowing, but they're utilizing this number to do business or really be an employee, well, what other options are there? There are other options, but are people willing to go explore those options? We've shared with people that are employees. You can go to your company and ask the company to 1099 contract to work out. But do people have the gravitas to do that? Do people have the wit to do that? Those are the things that are necessary in order to get those things done. If your job already got you on W-2, they put you there for a reason. But at the same time, there are benefits to not having employees. Uber is one company that shows that. They didn't go out and start a taxi company. They started a leveraging system which allows people to not have a job using a SSN, and you can create a car company, quote unquote, a rental car company or a car company, and literally be, you could rent out the cars, you could do work with the cars and don't own the cars. That means you don't work for the company, but you can utilize the cars, you can control the cars. So it's trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. You don't need to own them, but you can, what, you can control them. Do you own the SSN, or are you controlling it? What's ownership look like? Oh man, I'm the beneficiary. I'm filing taxes for it. You're right. You're the beneficiary. You're supposed to file. Did you receive income? Is it income? Those are the questions to be asked. And well, since somebody typed into the chat, actually, they said we were never taught stuff like this in school. Interestingly enough, whether it's public school or private school, either way, first of all, traditionally, this information is going to come from your family. It's not going to come from the school system, because the school system, they're employees. The principal is an employee. Even when you go to college, those people are hired through the funds that are putting them in place. They didn't just walk into it because they were great people. They got hired through a private group of people that put them in place. That's how it works. So if you say, oh man, what are you saying? First of all, people that are traditionally dealing in generational wealth, they're focused on building businesses and assets so they can sell them and have cash. That's just, we're talking about what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Not what you want to happen. Not what Trust Christian wants to happen. What it is. What it is most families that are talking about generational wealth, they put themselves in a position where they built an asset base that they are liquid to a degree with cash, or they have assets that they can liquidate those assets. That's what. And so for that reason, they're in a position where you think they made all that money in a social? No, they didn't. They didn't make $10 million in a social. Some people do, but not all. Usually when you get to certain levels, not only do you change the way you're moving, but you definitely get new information. So having that SSN for certain large incomes, it is detrimental. So it's trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. That's where the mindset is at. Do you own the social, or do you control where cash flow is coming into? You control where cash flow is going into. You control whether you're an employee or not. So you can control if you how it's assigned, how it's labeled. Because you control whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur. So you are not the SSN. Are you an employee or an entrepreneur? Do you own the SSN, or do you control the SSN? Ladies and gentlemen, the social is a number. That's it. What happens when you stop using it? Have you asked yourself these questions? Have people asked themselves these questions? What happens when you stop using it? These are the questions to ask yourself. These are the things to know. When you're out here saying, oh man, I need to own my social security number. I need to capture the straw man. Ain't that what they say? I need to capture the straw man? Something about a straw man. You are not the SSN. I'm not the straw man. You right? Oh man, I was the straw man, but I lost and now I'm found. I'm gonna go through the redemption process and redeem my spiritual soul on the human plane and the spiritual plane. No. The number is a simple number that's given out for specific purposes. That's it. So somebody says, oh, we were taught to be an employee, right? So what education are you investing in to become an entrepreneur? And we sit on the line all the time with entrepreneurs that are more than 1 year in and they're not ready to quit, but they sound like it. Oh man, it's hard to stay organized. Oh man, I'm overwhelmed at times. Oh man, it sounds like I don't really have a great work life balance. In the beginning of the company, you might not. There's a time and a place for everything. When you're building a company, it's not an employeeship. You're not going to walk in and just sit down and have cash flow come in. It requires large levels of ingenuity and iteration. So we look forward to the entrepreneur. And somebody can say, "Oh man, what about the seasoned entrepreneurs? Do they talk like that?" 100%. They sound like it's tough at times. No, of course it is tough, but you're in business for yourself. You're in control. You don't own it. You control it though. You control it. You control your destiny as the entrepreneur, as the investor. You think investing from the SSN is different than the EIN? You think business ownership is different from the SSN as opposed to the EIN? Of course it is. Well, let's act accordingly, ladies and gentlemen. Let's act like we're doing business and let's move on. Because this is one small step for you to continuously move your business forward, to move your interests forward. So we definitely look forward to everybody coming through to the webinar tomorrow. Feel free to reach out Christian at trustchristian.com if you want to send an email on the front end. Otherwise, if you do the paypal.me, we still will get your email and we'll send over the link to that email. So just be on the lookout for that. We are going to do an episode with Dr. Bay here, actually Sunday morning, trustee training, and then we're going to do trustee training in the evening with the private trustee trainer webinar. So if you want to get access to the webinar, it's $100 event fee. Feel free to reach out Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com. We will be covering the basics in trusteeship, and when we talk about the basics, it's really focused for you and your accountant to make sure that you guys are on the same page. We had a lot of trustees that needed a lot of help or just want some help going into the new year, and then you know what season it is in the year. So just reasons for us to do that you're not the social. You know, you're not the SSN, so we got to make that very clear. So hit the like, hit the subscribe. Definitely appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. Feel free to reach out Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com. Look forward to hearing from you all. Peace and joy.